ownership is something that hasn't changed as much. And that is one of the reasons why I work so diligently today to get women equal access to capital to fund their businesses, because I feel women are totally capable of scaling businesses and operating businesses. They just need to have equal opportunity to grow their businesses.
And the venture capital industry is still horribly male-dominated, isn't it? And I don't know whether that...
It very much so. Over 90% of the venture capitalists are men. It's not to say that men don't invest in women-led companies, but to be honest, there is still a sort of a high testosterone value that is prized in the venture capital business. And so while people will say they don't care whether their CEO is a male or female, the numbers won't show that. And so I think that we've made great progress at Springboard Enterprises, which is an accelerator for women entrepreneurs to learn how to raise capital properly, what is demanded of them. And we do make judgments about which entrepreneurs we think are capable of scaling businesses. It isn't for everyone. These are not lifestyle businesses. These are businesses that can scale in numbers within relatively short period of time, so that investors can see the return on their capital within the horizon. There's a very big difference between media and biotech, for example. I mean, a biotech investor expects a 7 to 10 year time frame easily for return on investment.
So just tell us what Springboard Enterprises actually does then.
Well, Springboard selects, trains, and presents women entrepreneurs to the venture capital market. And we look at it really as a spectrum, not just venture capital, but we'll introduce them to seed capital, very early stage investors, venture capital, private equity even, and we stay with them to liquidity. So we're the human capital glue, really, that helps them. Everybody.
And you're doing this as a non-profit activity?
It is a non-profit.
So there's no introduction fees or anything like that?
No, as a non-profit, it would be difficult to take a fee. We could get an advisory fee. We do charge a modest fee to the entrepreneur to go through the program. And many of us that are involved in it are investors. I have an investing fund called Bull Cap Ventures. I participate in Bell Capital out of the Midwest. We are investors through other funds in these companies and in other companies that we believe in. So I think it's a whole fabric. We started Springboard Enterprises in 2000. In 12 years, we have presented 509 companies. These companies, 83% of these companies raise capital, which is phenomenal, which I think tells you the value of not only the entrepreneur, but the program. 80% of these companies are in business today, over 12 years, another phenomenal data point.
And what do you regard as your greatest hits? Well,
there are many. Half of our 10 IPOs are in biotech, and people wouldn't recognize the names unless you're in biotech. Right. But Zipcar, Constant Contact, companies like iRobot, companies like this, people do know. People buy the Roomba vacuum cleaner, for example, which is produced by iRobot. Zipcar is a club I'm a member, and many people that live in urban areas are. So it's those types of companies.
And what do you think has been the single most valuable lesson that Springboard Enterprises has been able to teach the people that have gone through and had to pitch to the capital markets?
Well, we really preach the value of human capital. You can't underestimate the value of building out your network of advisors, people that can help you get through the rough spots. Choosing carefully the investors that you have is really important. There are a lot of steps along the way, and it's not just about financial capital. It's very much about human capital. So we work very hard with corporations, for example, that we take companies in to see, because even if they don't have a venture fund or an investment fund, they can be very good customers. And to an entrepreneur, having revenue from a customer is extremely valuable. So it's all that network, and it's building out the ecosystem that is really relevant. So that's the most important thing that we bring to the table. But the dollars, are substantial. These companies have raised almost $6 billion in 12 years. A third of them have had liquidity events for their investors, and good liquidity events. So I mean, they're really performing as entrepreneurs, and we invest our time in those women.
Now, that's one of many hats you wear in your career. I mean, one of the other jobs is to chair the company that was probably best known as Liz Claiborne, but is now Fifth and Pacific.